What's up, Commanders fans? So this week, it seems like everybody that we thought was injured this week is going to be playing. Only person we have to worry about not playing is Brian Robinson. And he is one of those guys that went off in the last game when we played against not just the Bears, but also went off against the Giants. And in that game, he had over 100 yards. And in a way, you could say he was part of the reason why we were able to get that win. Even though we didn't get a touchdown, he was able to move everything, and he was able to get things going. Because, it's not just the quarterback that has to get things going, but it's the running backs as well. Because if we can't get the run game going, we ain't going to get the pass game going. So he was part of our success in that win against the Giants and also against the Bears recently. So if he's not there, I think it's going to be a difficult win. I think we're still going to get the win, but we do have Jeremy McNichols, who is going to be coming in if Brian Robinson does not show up. I believe it's a shin injury, and so far he's still limited, but we're going to see what happens. It's still a possibility that he could show up and show out. So I'll be excited if he does play. He has done a lot in this league, and the fact that he's able to just think about I think it was last season when it could have been last season or the season before that one, where he came out after he got shot and actually played. I don't even think it was that long. Like, let it be me, I would have definitely not played at all. But he was shot, I believe it was twice in his legs, and recovery wasn't that long. And if he's not there, I don't think it's going to be that much of an issue. I think we do a great job. And then the thing about us, we also have Frankie Louvu, a guy that went off in the last game against the Giants, and he was top of the league, top of the team in tackles, and he just had a phenomenal game all around. And it was like they couldn't find an answer to him, and I think he was great for us. So if he's out there, hopefully he can still put his best foot forward. I understand sometimes injuries can, in a way, hinder how you play. Even though you may say you're healthy, that may still pop up and then cause you to not react as fast as you usually would and not be as explosive. So hopefully Frankie Louvu can play through those issues and that shin injury that may be bothering him during the game. But these guys have been doing this for years. These guys have been playing through injuries for years. This is the name of the game, and hopefully he can still play through it. Hopefully it doesn't get bad, doesn't get worse. I just want everybody to go out there and do their thing. And then another guy that's coming back for us is Brandon Coleman. And, we also don't have Cornelius Lucas. It's a tough day today for me. We don't have Lucas. So Brandon is going to be coming in for him. And I think Brandon has done a great job for us. He just got to stay healthy. That's it. That's the only issue. But for him to come back, I'm happy to see him back. And I think he's going to do well. Honestly, I think he's going to do well. And then the fact that it was a chance that we was going to have Olamide Zaccheaus out, and, even Terry was going to possibly be out. But these guys have come back, and everybody's ready to play this game, especially the fact that it's a division game. And I think we've just been doing great so far. And I think guys, even though they may feel injured or seem injured, I think they all want to just go all out. I think they want to put everything on the line just because of the type of coach Dan Quinn is. And then Dan Quinn is one of those guys who's about to possibly win Coach of the Year. And just because of how fast he turned this team around, seeing that we were 4 and 13, I believe, last season, and the fact that we've already within 8 games, already won 6 of those games. So I think he's in the running to be coach of the year. And if he gets us to the playoff, he's automatically getting it. And, Jayden Daniels is one of those guys that's possibly going to be offensive rookie of the year, or maybe even MVP of the year. It might go to Lamar because he's been having a phenomenal year. So I think, if anything, Jayden Daniels is going to be the rookie of the year. I know that for a fact, if anything. But if he continues to stay on the field, yep. And then also, I appreciate the people correcting me in the last video that I did when I was talking about Justin Herbert and Ben Roethlisberger, and how Ben Roethlisberger in his first year, he won 13 games, and in those 13 games, he was able to make Rookie of the Week 9 times, and he holds the record for that. And I said that after 8, Jaden was going to be breaking the record, but no, after 9 is the actual record. So if he can get 10 Rookie of the Weeks, he'll have that record. And with us having 9 games, I can see that being possible. And Jayden Daniels has been playing phenomenal. He hasn't been getting a touchdown in almost every game, but you still got to acknowledge the fact that he's getting the ball through the air. And the fact that he played a tough defense with the Bears last week, and he threw the most yards that any quarterback has thrown against them, I don't know what to tell you. He threw over 300 yards, and I think that shows a lot, that if he went up against a tough defense and he was able to throw through the air 300 yards, and out of all teams that played them, he was the best, that's saying something. So if he can continue to play his best, and I know that he's going to do way better than he did in their first run-in in the beginning of the season, in his second game against the Giants, I think he's going to do much better, because think about the games that he has under his belt, the close games that he's played. Went toe-and-toe with Lamar Jackson, went toe-and-toe with Joe Burrow, went up against a tough defense last week. Come on now. At some point, we got to give him his flowers, even though he's been earning them. But I think still, people got to still see it. A lot of people are scared because they feel like he's lightweight and that he's prone to more injuries because he's light. But look, my man has made it, and he's played through this rib injury that he's had, and he's shown that, hey, look, I'm still here, I'm still playing, and I got some fight in me. And, bruh, it's not just him that people have to worry about. Every quarterback goes through these situations. So it's times where it's not just small injuries. Because you're small doesn't mean anything. And it's guys that's big that don't make it through the year. Or, for example, we can talk about just guys that haven't been able to make it through the year. And Stephon Diggs is one of those people. He made it through half of the season, almost half of the season, and then got injured, and now his season is over. So it can be anything. But Jaden has shown how tough he is, and he's played through an injury. And last week we got to see him get the dub, and we didn't get to see a touchdown until the very end. But the thing about that game, he didn't give the game away. Every time he had the ball, he made something happen with it. And he gave us hope, even though some plays didn't go the way we wanted, but he made something happen. He gives you hope. And he really gave us hope at the very end with that Hail Mary. So I'm proud of what he did, and the fact that he didn't give up when everybody else felt like the game was over. We're going to try again next week. He came out and he won the game in the very last minute. And he has not lost a home game at all. So that's saying something. And then if he wasn't playing this week, I wouldn't be scared, because Marcus Mariota has come out and shown that he can do some things with less. So I'm happy that And he's shown that he has chemistry with this team. Of course, he's a game removed from playing, but who knows? He can still come out and do his thing. I'm excited for what we have so far. And then a lot of people haven't even noticed how much of a chemistry he has with Terry McLaurin now. In the first game we had against the Giants, Terry didn't even have that many yards. He wasn't even the guy that was at the top of the game in receiving. So it was terrible. It will make you throw up if you go look at the yards Terry had. He had about 20, under 30 yards. So that was terrible for the guy that we pay so much money to and the guy that is the face of our franchise. So that won't be an issue anymore. Seeing that, one, they both have chemistry now, and two, they've shown what they can do together. Terry was what? I think he was at one point. He was under. It was only a few people ahead of him in receiving, and that was Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, and CeeDee Lamb. And just when you think about it, you're like, what? Yes, only those people. And that goes to show that with a quarterback that you can believe in, that you can trust in, a quarterback that's good, actually good, great, phenomenal, and that you have the top coaches, and then you have the staff, the people in the front office behind, all on this same pick. When everybody's behind this same person, this is what happens. This is what happens when you go out and get a great player. You get somebody your team believes in. Everybody believes in this one player. And, at first we thought we were going to go out and get Caleb. We was going to move up in the draft and go get Caleb Williams. But it was a reason why. Because when you think about the comparison between the two, these guys are totally different. Jayden is a person you can build around. Caleb is a person that is going to take some time, and he still has some character issues. And I love the fact that Jayden is always humble no matter the situation. And he's always fighting. And he's not downplaying his teammates at all, because that plays a role in how you play as a team overall. And if you can't do good in the small things, like build up your team when you guys are down, or take ownership when you haven't done your part, that's going to make a major change in how guys care about you, how guys play around you. Look, how guys block for you. So that could cause you to get injured and then somebody else step up and take your position. So it's a lot of things that go into it, and Jayden is doing all of those things right. And I appreciate that we got this guy out of the draft. And, at one point he wasn't about to come here. And I want to keep reminding people that he wasn't about to come here. It was looking like a little friction going on. And that was because when we were bringing everybody in, all the rookies in, we kind of thought that Jayden felt a little betrayed because he didn't know about it. But a lot of guys didn't know about it. They didn't know that everybody was going to meet up at this one time. And in a way, he just felt like he didn't like that. But he came out and said that no matter where he was, drafted to, he was going to be happy. And if that was what the Commanders, he was going to be happy as well. So it's good to know that we have him. And it's crazy, though. But that's how life is. Like, you'll have those type of stories where, oh, I wasn't about to do this, I wasn't about to do that, but you ended up doing it anyway. Like, I told myself a long time ago I would never read a book, and now I'm reading books. So it's a lot of things that happens. And, man, I appreciate what we have this week. One terrible thing that we have to worry about is Tyrone Tracy, a guy that the Giants got out of the 5th round. Surprisingly, he's really good. And he went off against the Steelers in their last game and had over 100-plus yards. And we're talking about a top 10 defense who should be stopping him. A 5th-round player, they should be stopping, right? Shouldn't be getting no rush yards over him, right? I mean, on them. And he has. And imagine what that what he's going to do against us. And, the last game we played in the Giants game, we had Devin Singletary, who had almost 100 yards against us. And just the fact that those two people will be there and be available and be used is going to be something to be worried about. And also, Wan'Dale Robinson, he's a beast. And, also, the fact that Daniel Jones is good. He's decent. I can put it that way. He's decent. Not going to say he's phenomenal, but he's decent. And then the fact that he has Jayden Daniels, boy from LSU, to throw to, that just gives him it just gives him a better chance at winning games now. I mean, of course, it's not putting everything together, but it's giving him a foundation. And I think for the Giants and their offense, I think it's just their offensive line that's really terrible. And it may be some of Daniel Jones' decision-making. But if those guys can, block for Daniel Jones and allow him not to get sacked as much as he usually does and allow him to get the playoff, I think they'll have a better game. But if we can be as dangerous as we were in the first game with Frankie Louvu, we'll win that game. And then on top of that, what helped us be so successful is we was able to get the ball off through the air and on the ground with 200 yards through the air and 200 yards on the ground. That helped us get the offense flowing. And then the fact that we had Frankie Louvu on defense creating stops, him and Bobby Wagner tag teaming, just they were doing so great. They were like Roquan Smith and the guy that got traded to the Steelers, middle linebacker. I forgot his name. I can't think of his name. But because they have that same chemistry this year. They have the same chemistry that they did last year, that the Ravens had last year. So if they can just keep that flowing and keep that going, I think we'll be great. Honestly, I don't see us losing this game at all. I feel like we got this in the bag, but it is going to be a tough one. It's going to be a tough win, just like we had the last game, because if we don't have Brian Robinson, if that shin injury really causes him some trouble, then we'll have an issue. But if we can get the ball moving, get at least 100 yards on the ground, Jayden, everybody took part in that game. It was a well-rounded game for us. We just couldn't score, and that was mostly because of penalties. And just every time we got there, every time we got in the red zone, we just couldn't execute because of penalties and just giving up our plays, and we couldn't just, every time the penalty came in, we had to move back, and it just ruined the play that we had in mind to get. So that's going to be some of the issues that we're going to have to face. If we can reduce the penalties, if we can get the ball going through, if we can get the running game going, and Jayden Daniels continues to show the great things that he has shown in the last few games, if he can continue to keep doing what he was doing great, we'll be fine. And the fact that this is going to be, I believe, it's going to be his 8th game, because, he had to sit out in the Panthers game, but it's going to be his 8th game, under his belt. So he'll have way more experience than he did when he played them in his second game. So it's a lot to look forward to. Of course, I don't know the score. I don't know what's going to happen, but I do feel confident in this team and where we're going. And, man, if we can just keep Daniel Jones on his toes, we'll be fine. And Jayden Daniels, he has so many ways to kill you. So it could be his feet. It can be through the air. And the one thing that we have to stop doing is letting Jayden Daniels get sacked. Of course, this is a top defense. I sound like Mike Tyson. Of course. This is a top defense. So, last game we got sacked 5 times. This time, hopefully, it's under 3. But it's all gonna depend on our offense. Brian Coleman is a beast, and I can't wait to see him go off. And we just have to execute. And of course, it's going to probably be a tough game from Terry. Every time we go against the Giants, it's a tough game because he's getting locked down. I forgot his name, something Banks. But I'm a little congested, but I'm sorry, y'all. I'm trying to fight through it, but it's trying to take me out. But I appreciate y'all for tuning in, man. We're going to get the dub. It's just going to be a tough one. And everybody just hold on, man. Hopefully we can see Terry. I don't know. You know what's so crazy? What if Terry ends up leading the league in receiving yards? I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there. And, no matter if it's Marcus Mariota or Terry, my bad. If it's Marcus Mariota or Jayden Daniels, we know that now Jayden Daniels has been able to get Terry his touches. And we know that Marcus knows to get him his touches. So no matter who's in, he's going to get them touches and he's going to get them yards. He's going to be at the top of the game in receiving. And we know that's priority. That's priority. We know we need to make that happen. So if that happens, and when it happens, my bad, we know that's nothing we don't have to worry about. It's not something we have to worry about. So what if Terry ends up leading the league in receiving yards? Is all I'm saying. So we know he's going to break his career records and everything else because he's on pace to doing it. But what if he end up being and leading the league in receiving yards? I know it's a long shot, but think about it. He's 4th. He's 4th in the league in receiving. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I appreciate y'all for tuning in, man. Love y'all. Hey, man, football is cool, but it's temporary. And you never know when your day may come. So I want everybody to talk to God as much as possible. Repent, and just ask God to forgive you for your sins and, just build a relationship with him for real. Like, talk to him every single day. And, football is not everything. So find some time to talk to God. And guess what? I'm out.